Hi, I'm Jackie Knowles of Glasswork Pixie, partnering with Oceanside Glass and Tile to bring you this instructional Fusing Fundamentals video series. Here in Lesson 3, I'll provide an overview of glass compatibility principles and C.O.E.s, show you how to test whether different glasses are compatible for fusing, and explain how to choose the right glass for a project. Two glasses are considered compatible when they can be fused together without cracking or breaking. Glass expands as it's heated and contracts as it's cooled. However, different types of glass expand and contract at different rates. When two different glasses are heated together in a kiln and one moves faster or slower than the other, friction is created between their surfaces, resulting in stress. This stress can manifest as an immediate crack or break seen upon opening the kiln, or it could form an unseen instability that will cause a seemingly perfect piece to suddenly break, days, months, or even years in the future. A glass's C.O.E., or coefficient of expansion, describes the rate at which it will expand and contract when fired. Glasses of different C.O.E.s move at different rates, and thus result in unstable pieces when fired together. This is why glass manufacturers label their products with a specific C.O.E., which is usually either 90 or 96 for fusible stained glass. As long as you fuse glasses with the same C.O.E. from the same manufacturer, you shouldn't need to worry about stress breaks due to incompatibility. All Oceanside compatible glass has a nominal C.O.E. of 96 and has been factory tested to ensure it's compatible. So making projects entirely out of their tested compatible glass is a great option if you want to be confident your pieces will be free of incompatibility cracks. But what about glasses with the same C.O.E. that were produced by different manufacturers? Can these be fused together? Maybe. Unfortunately, compatibility is not determined by C.O.E. alone. Factors such as viscosity and expansion properties over a wide temperature range can also impact whether or not two glasses are compatible. Matching C.O.E.s do not necessarily mean that these other factors will also match, so using glasses from two different manufacturers is risky, and it's safest to stick with just one. However, you can test for compatibility yourself by fusing together small samples of different glasses and then viewing them under polarized light sheets, which are sometimes called polarization filters. You can buy pre-made ones from stained glass supply shops, or you can do as I've done here and make your own by cutting one sheet in half and taping each half to a mat board. To test for compatibility, place one filter on top of a light source. Next, place your fused glass sample on top of that and then hold the second filter above. Make sure to rotate it so it's perpendicular to the one below. If the glasses in your sample are incompatible, you'll see halos of light around the stressed areas. If they're compatible, there won't be any visible light. Polarization filters work by only transmitting light waves that vibrate in one direction, say up and down, while blocking waves that vibrate in all other directions. If there is no stress within a fused sample, the up and down light waves that traveled through the first filter continue to travel through the unstressed glass while still vibrating up and down, and then are completely blocked by the second filter because it's been turned perpendicular and no longer transmits up and down waves. If instead there are stresses within the sample, they'll cause the light to split and change direction, bending in a way that creates new light waves with different vibrations through a process called birefringence. So in this case, the up and down light waves pass through the first filter, then through the stressed glass, where they're bent into vibrating waves of different directions, some of which continue on through the perpendicular second filter, because they're no longer vibrating just up and down. This process of light manipulation allows you to see stresses in your glass as halos or colorful patterns. Pretty cool, right? Another important factor to consider when choosing glass for a project is its color consistency before and after firing. During the fusing process, chemical transformations of metal oxides and compounds within the glass may occur, causing it to change color. If you're not expecting it, it can be quite the surprise. But if you plan for it, it can give your project just the right look. Some manufacturers provide information on the specific color changes its glass will undergo, so be sure to check for that when choosing glasses. If that information isn't available, it may be worth test fusing a small sample prior to using it in your project. Although Oceanside Glass and Tile doesn't make any glasses intended to change color to a specific desired shade, some of its glasses can undergo further color changes when fired, especially amber and white mixes. You can find more helpful information and recommendations around these potential color shifts on Oceanside Glass and Tile's website. Interesting color effects can also occur between certain glasses that produce a reaction when fused together. Typically, reactions happen when copper-bearing or lead-bearing glass is combined with sulfur-bearing glass, and they occur at the interfaces where the two glasses meet. Similarly to when considering color consistency, you may want to check the manufacturer's information to determine whether a specific glass has reactive potential before using it in your project. If that information isn't available, you can try fusing small samples of the various colors you plan on using in your project and then check whether any produced a reaction. You'll find a reactivity guide on Oceanside Glass and Tile's website detailing the reactive potential of their products, which takes the guesswork out of this process and can help you achieve or avoid reactions easily. If you're new to glasswork, you may also want to consider the ease of use of the glass you're going to be working with. There are several glass manufacturers, and the different compositions and processes they use in production gives each of their glasses a unique feel and behavior. Some are easier to score and break than others, and some have more consistently predictable behaviors when kiln fired. One of the reasons I strongly recommend Oceanside compatible sheets is that most of them have a signature super smooth texture, which makes them incredibly easy to work with. This glass is perfect for beginners looking to get comfortable scoring and breaking before trying out thicker and more textured glass types that require a little more experience to manipulate. Of course, this ease of workability makes Oceanside compatible a favorite among professional artists as well, not just beginners. One more factor that shouldn't be overlooked when selecting glass is the amount of support provided by the manufacturer. Fusing is a delicate process, and the more information you have regarding the properties of the glass you're working with, the more successful your projects will be. Because of this, you may want to choose glass from a manufacturer that provides resources like tech specs detailing how their glass behaves when it's fired and recommended firing schedules, troubleshooting guides to address common issues, and even a point of contact to reach out to if you have further questions. Oceanside Glass and Tile provides all these things, plus tips and tutorials, example project patterns, and even instructional videos from experienced glassworkers. You'll also need to take into account a glass's cost and availability when deciding which ones to use in a project. Certain colors, like purples and pinks, tend to be more expensive than others. So if you're on a tight budget, think strategically about the color palette you choose. And lastly, it's always better to see glass in person than going by online photos alone, so you may want to start by seeing what your local distributors have in stock. Now that you understand the importance of compatibility, you know how to test for it yourself, and you're aware of several other glass-related variables, you should be able to navigate the huge variety of glasses out there to pick just the right ones for your project. Up next in Lesson 4, I'll demonstrate best practices for constructing fused pieces in a manner most likely to achieve the intended result.